How are you?
How good? How's it going?
I'm good. I'm still like spinning from our adventure, so.
I know, I know. I see you got the shirt. I was representing too. It's my
Woo!
jacket.
Yes,
So we got a lot to talk about today.
we do. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So yeah, so you guys don't know, but Laura is actually famous in the Backstreet world. She had a blog back in the early days of social media with cruising with the Backstreet Boys.
Famous is a generous term, but thank you nonetheless. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So as you know, in my channel, we talk about all things Backstreet or pink or glittery and all that jazz. So today Laura and I have been good friends for about 15 years now, going strong.
I can't believe it. Like yeah. I mean, we met on the first cruise and we've
Yeah,
just now our friendship has gone beyond and it's so much fun.
absolutely. I know it's been a wild ride with you, but we figured we would want to share with everyone our first thoughts on this most epic
Yes.
invent ever of the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere. So, well, without further ado, I have a couple of notes, Laura, but really overall, like, what was your experience like? Share.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I thought it was such a cool experience. I think being in the sphere was just awesome. Like, I have done a lot of concerts in my time, and there's been nothing like it. That venue is incredible. So it was so special to be there. I could tell how special it was to the boys, too. It was just neat. Like, I loved being there, part of opening weekend. I loved just everything about it. It was really cool. I think it was definitely interesting to see the audience. There were just so many fans who are haven't seen them in so many years and they were
Yeah,
just going nuts. It
yeah.
really captured the nostalgia that I think they were going for.
Yeah, I mean, the venue was very different from what they've done in the past. I mean, to your point, it was able to bring back fans of all different
Yes.
generations, different maybe levels of fandom, but for an hour and 30 minutes we were all the same. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes. Yes. And I think like for me, like I consider myself a super fan. I'm in like the 1%. And I think in general this show was geared for I'm calling them the nostalgia fan. Those who haven't seen them in a long time. Maybe, they grew up on their music. They played all
Yeah.
the hits.
Yeah.
It was such a cool show, but my take was this show was meant for that person. It's meant to capture the nostalgia. And I
Yeah.
think they did a good job with that.
100% totally agree. Do
Yeah.
you feel though that maybe those for the super fans like us probably wouldn't, if there was no spectaculars and visuals and all that, obviously other than the eye candy, do you think there would have been a less enjoyment for us given that here comes the hits again, here come like it just, what are your thoughts on that?
I think for me as the super fan, like I tend to be more critical because I love them so much. And so I love the hits. I love going back through Millennium, but because of the venue, I felt a little bit disconnected. Like I felt a little far away. I missed some of the intimacy that we would get on a tour.
Yeah.
I felt even like if I was up front, still like there was a big distance between the stage and us as the fans.
Yeah.
I think they really relied on the venue. So to me, it was just a very different experience. And I'm not saying different bad, it's just different.
Right, right.
I don't know. What was your take on that?
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think we're spoiled, right? We've
Yes.
done various shows where different venues from the big stadiums like this down to like right being here with Nick Carter.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think a it was definitely the connection was a little lost. I feel like GA probably had that the most. Section
Yeah.
100 to some degree had it a little bit lesser, and
Yeah.
obviously the economies of scale kind of goes up from all the subsequent sections. But
Yes.
I really think, to your point, it's more of the overall aesthetic and the vibe of the show, not so much the connection. But I mean, everyone has their experience on the show based on their personal attachment to the boys. But I think you 100% agree. For the super fans out there, I think it's a little different unless you got interactions with them in other ways, such as like the meet and greet and all those. But talking about the show, the distance and I think the logistics of the way the venue was set up, right? Like even front row GA had this huge gap, and then on top of that the stage was super high. So Yeah, there was a little bit of a disconnect. So I wonder if that's going to change in the next few weeks, or if the boys will make any attempts to go down into the audience.
I
That'd
think
be
that's a
interesting.
good question. I think even over the course of the weekend that we went, it seemed like they were getting a little bit more comfortable. I think
Yes.
they themselves were, they felt the significance of this. And I felt even like from opening night to the Sunday night, I saw them
Yeah.
like loosen a little bit and get into their personalities. So
Yeah.
even when I talk about like losing the intimacy, it was also like I missed a little bit of their personalities that we would get in other settings. I think like another thing that I noticed was because of the venue, you often weren't getting live footage of the boys. So when you
Mm.
are in the 100 section or further back, you can't always see what is happening live in front of you, which you
Yeah.
tend to get at a normal concert. They always
Yeah.
have cameras streaming
Yeah.
live what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
With this experience, you're immersed in a different world. So it's just different. But for me, again, as a super fan, I lost some of that intimacy in a couple of
Yeah.
different ways. But I will say, I do feel like some of the boys, like when you were on the floor, they were still trying. Like I saw Brian do his normal, like mimicking the fans and like, oh, I got you, and like those
Yeah.
sorts of things. So I felt them trying, but it's hard to get to everybody, obviously, in a venue of that size.
Yeah. I wonder though, I don't know if you've seen it, but I wonder if there are some abilities for them to see people's faces and not just a sea of heads. Like, I wonder if there is an actual connection you could make with a fan. Like, oh, I can see that person, she's crying, or I saw that person was like, like, I wonder if that happens. But obviously, that's something we don't know unless we ask them.
I don't know. I
Just
feel
call
like
him, just call him, just ask Nick.
I wish. I don't know. I feel like over the years they've said that they can kind of see into the crowd.
Yeah.
So I'd like to believe that Nick saw me in my fangirl head that he does.
That's all that matters. We believe it and it happened and that's all that matters. So,
Exactly.
how about like what were your thoughts on the other aesthetics of the show? Just the idea of the graphics and like what
Yeah.
were your thoughts on the connection of that versus the songs? Love to hear your thoughts on that.
I thought they did a great job with the visuals. It really was immersive. They clearly had a theme going with like kind of outer space and whatnot. So that kind of carried through. I liked some of the visuals better than others, of course.
Yeah.
Some of them were just like absolutely stunning and beautiful. It takes you into a whole nother world. Some of them were like head scratchers, weird. I don't know. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Um, it was it was cool though. It was just again a very different experience. I don't know, what was your take on it?
We can go into details on like the specific numbers,
Yeah.
but I think overall, I mean, I don't know how many people who are watching this know, but the seats, for those who had seated seats, there was kinetics attached to the venue. So like when they had the opening number and we got catapulted into space, like our seats were like vibrating and shaking. And it's weird because not everyone was standing, so not everyone got to feel it. But I did it by accident because I didn't get up in time. And I'm like, woo, this is fun. It was
Yeah.
kind of, I sat down for a little bit, plus the boys weren't out yet. But yeah, it's interesting how it's like, it's almost for those who are familiar with the IMAX theater, setup. I think this takes it to a whole other level. But this, agreed, 100%. The visuals, some were like, okay. But I think they were thinking in mind with how it would look in the stage, how it would look, for those who are watching. Obviously, you can't be all five heads the whole time, but
Right.
we're okay with that. But we get it. Overall, I think it was amazing. And I mean, I don't know if I've been seeing since we've got back, there's articles all over about saying this was the best out of all the previous acts. Like that's insane.
I agree. And obviously, I don't have any experience having seen anything else in the sphere, so I don't have anything to compare it to. But from what I experienced, I think it was awesome. And the other thing that comes to mind is I know before the show, AJ had mentioned you have to see it multiple times to really
Yeah.
get it. And now that I've experienced it, I completely agree.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I was able to do 3 shows opening weekend with different experiences
Yeah.
because there really is so much going on. You do miss things. Either
You
you're missing
miss.
something with the boys or even just something on the screen that you want to like revisit. There's so much going on. So
Right. Yeah. And there were a lot of Easter eggs too. There
Yes.
was a lot of Easter eggs throughout, and it's
Yes.
like it's one of those blink and you'll miss it
Yes.
kind of things, right? So,
Yes. Agreed. Yes.
but how about the pop up? What were your thoughts on the pop up, the terminal, like, the whole thing?
I loved it. I thought it was like a nice like bonus experience to like just extend more and like do more with the fans. I I mean, I don't know, I love the theme. They obviously like went with the Millennium Airport theme. I thought they had
I
some
love it.
cool memorabilia. I like that there was just like a place for fans to congregate and like
Yes,
go shopping. I liked being able to shop before the show. I
yes,
loved
yeah.
like I don't know, I feel like we were taking so many pictures and you know,
We could pop them up here for everyone to see later.
yes. It was just like it was fun. It was just a cool experience. So I would definitely recommend for folks to check that out if they're going. It's free, so why not?
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely phenomenal, especially since a lot of us had to try take an airplane to get to Vegas, right? It wasn't so it's almost like it kind of comes full circle with haha, sphere comes full it's too early, Laura. But yeah, no, I think it's just this a great homage to the fans. I think this was
Yeah.
done for the fans. To your point, it was a place for us to get together and be in our full fandom self and be okay with it and no judgment. It was like a judgment-free zone. But I also am interested in seeing it like for those who maybe who were the casual fans or maybe the fandoms or like those people who stopped at Millennium.
Yeah.
People that don't know they had albums post Millennium. Like
Right.
was this their way of showing them look at where they've come and look at where they've evolved since? It's like it's kind of it's I think everyone can go in with a different mindset, right? Like it was really cool.
Yeah, true. But you're it did really focus more on the Millennium era. I didn't feel like they
True.
covered as much of the new stuff.
True, true, true. It's almost like a capsule in time, I
It
guess.
was.
You might.
It felt like a time capsule to me.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I loved seeing just like all the teen magazines that all the posters I used to have on my wall. They were all there and just like the teen beats and the TV
Yeah,
guide. Like when was the last time you picked up a TV guide? Like,
yeah. Ask someone who was born post 1999 if they even know what a TV guide is.
exactly. I felt old,
Yeah.
but it was good.
It was fun. And the TRL setup was so cool.
Yes.
Like just us being able to stand as if we were back in New York City in Times Square, like that was really cool. What are your thoughts and talk a little bit more on the set list? Like the order, the song selections, like what are your thoughts there?
So I think we kind of went into it knowing they were going to do Millennium. So there were
Okay.
no
Yep.
surprises there. I
Yeah.
think in general they hit all the beats, right? I was expecting this to be a nostalgia show, and that's kind of what they hit on with the set list. They hit all of, pretty much all of the hits, the singles
Mhm.
from, and they did all of Millennium. I think my biggest complaint about the set list was that it was short. I was hoping for a little bit longer.
I agree. Yeah.
And even further, I noticed they were cutting verses out of some of the songs. So there were some of my favorite parts in like Back to Your Heart
Yeah.
and whatnot. I was like, oh, cut it out. So I think those were my biggest critiques. So overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good set list. It was fun to go back and revisit some of those songs from Millennium that we don't get to hear often.
No, no. Except for us, because we've had some special
Yeah,
30 for 30 concerts,
yeah,
some special cruise
yeah.
concerts. We gotta keep remembering that it's a little different for the average fan, right?
Correct. Yes.
So, was there anything that you felt like they didn't sing? Obviously, aside from Millennium, was there anything that you felt that they didn't sing that maybe they should have, like at least as an homage or a nod to the fans or anything like that?
That's a great question. I mean, like, I guess I have all my favorites as like the super fan. I don't know if anything's like jumping out to me. Like, I tried to go into this with like no expectations because I really didn't. Although on the topic of setlist, I thought it was so funny when AJ was like, "We're gonna do a deep cut," and it was Back to Your Heart. I was like, okay,
I
let's do a deep cut, AJ. Let's just track on the CD. But I don't know. What was your take? Were there things missing for you?
Up until this point, we've been talking about how it's a snapshot in time. I think they did a very good job in kind of keeping us in this world of where we were in 1999, with a few exceptions, right? There are very few, actually. But as far as the songs, I don't think they missed anything. I
I
think
feel
Nick was
like
the only one who did the solo.
I think Nick was really the only one who did a
Okay.
solo. But then, like, interestingly, when they did their like little talking interludes, Nick
Yeah.
didn't have one. So I don't know, as we talk it through, maybe that's why he didn't have like a talking part in the show. He had the singing part.
So, yeah, you're right. Because when Kevin and AJ came out and said something that, a lot of fans get excited about, we don't want to give away spoilers. Was Nick getting ready for the solo? That was after, or was it before? Like, I'm curious
Or
if we're trying to figure out from a logistics perspective if Nick had just sang his solo when Kevin and AJ came out and did their little bit.
I don't remember.
I can't remember. It was too.
I don't remember either.
You would think watching multiple shows in one weekend we'd remember that.
Backstreet Vision.
Said, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't think there was any misses. I mean, I know how they feel about Orlando, like if you wanted to be good girl, but we
Yeah.
know that would never ever
No,
qualify
none
to
of this.
be on that list. But
No,
that would
none
have been
of this
fun.
fair.
I think that would have been fun.
Yeah, I think they do that just to humor us at times.
What about the costumes and the look? What are your
I
thoughts on that?
personally loved the look. I thought Tierney did a great job. I know I loved Nick in that black outfit. Oh my God.
Okay, black trench
Oh
coat
my
Nick will forever be burned in my mind. Like that's a core memory.
Totally agree. I thought they looked great. It was like a modern look and feel. I think my only critique, and I don't even know if I would call it such, but I wish they did more nods to the Into the Millennium tour. And I guess I could expand that not even just from the costumes, but just in general. I was hoping to
So
see a
you mean,
little bit more nods or Easter eggs from the
yeah.
original tour.
So you're talking like hoverboards and those
Yeah.
like chains and all those other stuff and just
Yeah,
kind
the
of,
like the antenna things that they were climbing on for Don't Want You Back.
yeah.
I don't know. I remember like the Perfect Fan, they brought fans up on stage with their moms. So like for me, I was like, of course they're gonna bring fans on stage, but now with their daughters. Like to me that was such a miss. But I guess circling back to your point on the costumes, like even to have like a nod to the costumes in there, I thought would have been like just like again a fun Easter egg. But again, Nick in the black trench coat, I was perfectly fine.
Yeah, we could just call this tour Nick in the black trench coat for the
Yeah,
rest of
yeah,
the rest of the tour. I think we're good.
I
They
agree.
even had those pink. Like, what was up with the pink? I'm not gonna say no to it, obviously.
Yeah.
But there was like all those little hints of pink. I wonder what that like. Is there any symbolism there? Because I missed it. I don't know if you picked up on
On
any
the
of
I
it.
think I saw them on the bottom of their shoes. Is that what you're referring to?
Bottom of the shoes. I think Brian had a hat. Right there was like that pink nods of pink. I don't
Hmm.
know what if there was any.
Maybe that was the throwback to the original tour. I don't
You
know.
think?
I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. No. Just
I
something
liked
to
it.
think
I
about.
thought it worked well. I thought it worked well.
It did. That's true. And then, obviously the girls would not say no to a guy in pink, right? Real men wear pink. Okay, so here, let's what are your thoughts on nailed it, missed opportunities? Like where were the nailed it moments that you were like, this was worth coming for and three
Yeah.
times and worthy of going back again? Thoughts there, Laura.
Good question. I think just like overall the venue, like it was a cool venue. I left the show thinking, man, how are they going to top that? Like
Yeah.
that is a cool experience. I don't know how they're going to top it from like a venue and visual perspective. So I
Hmm.
thought they nailed that. I do think they nailed it from like I guess capturing the nostalgia. I think again for a more casual fan, I'll call it, they hit all the beats. They hit all the singles. I also went with friends who more in that category, who are the nostalgia fan, and they left the show Saturday. They're like, "Oh my God, that was phenomenal! I got to go again tomorrow." And
Yeah.
she bought tickets, so like I think it met that need for people. So for me, the hits like where they just nailed it. I thought the visuals were really cool. I thought the costumes were great, and they really captured that nostalgia. So I think if I were to boil it down, like my top three moments of the show, I loved the entrance.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. I felt as the sphere changed, like the crowd was like so into it. You could just
Yeah.
audibly hear them gasping, like acting. And so it really like you felt that energy. And plus,
Hmm.
like I always love the opening. It's just like you have the whole concert to look forward to. You've been waiting for this moment like for
The hype.
months.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was, I think, one of my tops. Also loved, I loved them singing the new song, Hey, because that was something new for, again, me as like a super fan. That song
Yeah,
was like, I think it's a beautiful song. So
yeah.
I
I
don't,
believe that was the first time they ever performed it live, though, right? Wasn't
as
it?
far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
You're
they had
right.
any
Where else
stage.
would they have performed it live? It's a pretty new song. So
Yeah.
I liked that just because it was new and something we have never heard before. So that was a top. And I think for me, my third one, maybe controversial, but I thought Siberia was probably my other favorite just because I think it was very memorable. I
Hmm.
thought the visuals that went with it, again, I think it's slightly controversial, but they were memorable. Just having the boys' heads in like mountains, like the Mount Rushmore of Frozen Backstreet
Yeah.
Boys. I don't know, but I thought the other cool part of that was like I believe they blasted like cold air, so you really
Yes. Yes.
felt like it was kind of just an extra layer of immersiveness. And that
Hmm.
was also a song I maybe wasn't expecting because it wasn't on Millennium. So those were my top three. What were your top three?
Yeah, no, in fact, we're both on the entrance. The entrance was the biggest. If you think about it, you have this giant appendage that you're staring at for like 20 minutes, and it's like a teaser, and you're like, what is happening? And then once that countdown goes off, and the five, four, three, and then it's like all of a sudden that thing moves, and you're just like, duh, what is actually happening at this moment? And I think there's 100 million different emotions that happen at the same time
Mhm.
that you're like, whether it's anything from the 1% super fan to the first time ever to those who haven't seen them. So everyone's going through this like mixed of emotions, and yet you're being catapulted into space, right? And it's huge. Well, no matter what seat, I think no matter what seat you were in, whether you were down on the floor, that entrance cannot get any better. I don't even
Yeah,
know how to. I don't know what show they could top that. Like there's just nothing they
yeah.
could possibly do.
I did also, you hit on the countdown. I thought that was nice because it really helped build the momentum. You knew in that
Yes.
final 10-minute countdown, you're just like, I like that.
And it was also a note, hey, get back to your seat. Like
Yeah, right. All right, 2-minute
it's
warning.
like, I remember actually, just as a side note, I remember we were with Anne Marie and Chrissy, and I was like, I really want that cup. Like I really want to get this cup. It was yeah, so but they were like, go get it now. You got 7 minutes on the clocks. I ran to like the closest bar just to get it, but it was
Yes,
totally worth it.
I agree.
Um, for me, for second, so you had Hey, I had Shape of My Heart.
Oh, that was a good one too. That's a good pick. I would put that in a runner-up for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was giving some crazy Encanto vibes, right? Or even Pandora. So if you're also a Disney
Yeah.
fan, it reminds me a lot like the Pandora ride. But it was just something about you're in this like asteroid that's shaped like a heart, but then you go into it and it's beautiful. And there's like these birds and toucans flying, and you're going into this like it literally kind of gave me all the feels. So for me, that one I could watch that one 1,000 times.
I agree. That was visually stunning, and I remember Brian like he would like dove into the
Yeah, AJ, I remember was like, "Here we go."
yeah. That was a
So
fun
they must. I think an honorable mention would be "Show Me the Meaning" with the
one.
dancing, like just the dancing. But I have also heard that. Did you notice though? Remember how in Larger Than Life they have like the spaceship that goes over your head?
Hmm.
I feel like there were constant nods to that even throughout, like to show, hey, we're still traveling. Now we're gonna travel here, and then you got like a random UFO that would come by, like in the middle of one of the sets, and you'd be during like while they're dressing up, and then there's like another UFO that comes by, and you're just kind of like, is that intentional? Or was that supposed to be like we're traveling to the next visual or the next, whatever. I'm like, I don't know what the thought process is there, but I thought it was really interesting. I don't know if if you
That's an
noticed that.
interesting observation. I probably missed it. And that's where it's like I almost need to go back and watch it yet again.
We got 4 more weeks, Laura. We could go back.
I wish, I wish. But you're probably not wrong though. I felt like they really were
Yeah,
taking us through a journey through space. Like I do feel like everything was very thought out. So you're probably not wrong.
yeah. I'd be interesting to find out. Like, we
Yeah.
could Someone could answer that. If anyone in the comments or anyone wants to let us know if they noticed that too. Yeah, that UFO man kept popping up. I mean, Anne Marie and I are Star Trekky heads too, so that's probably why we noticed it a little bit more. But other than that, I think because we've done this as our first week, we know that there's 4 more weeks coming. I think there's talks about next year opening up again.
We'll
I don't know
see.
if yeah, there's been some teasers that they might be back in 2026. But any hot tips for anyone that's coming? That's going to be going to the next shows.
Oh my goodness, where to start? I mean, I think you and I had different experiences. I did GA a couple nights in one seat. You did seats.
Yeah.
So there's all different categories of tips, I suppose. I guess wear white. Everybody, like people got the memo
Wear
on that
white.
one. I mean, I didn't know how well received that would be or whatnot, but people wore white.
Hmm.
I think like from a logistical perspective, like it is hot. You're going
It's
to the
hot.
desert in summer.
Yes.
So if you have not been to Vegas, or even if you have, like prepare accordingly. Like the air is very dry and it is hot. So hydrate, dress cool. If you're doing, I mean, GA has its own whole separate category of like tips, I suppose. But like
Yeah.
I found it just like it's not feasible to camp out all day like at typical Backstreet events, which is honestly great. Like go enjoy Vegas. There's so much other things to do there.
Or hang out with your girlfriends, still, bond.
Exactly, do the pool. I mean, other shows, whatever it is that interests you, but it is hot out there. So, I guess like in terms of like GA tips specifically, I think what I found is, honestly, like following directions. They emailed us beforehand and said, you need to be at the east entrance for GA. That's where they let you in. So that's where you got to be. But it seemed like you could also stay inside through the bridge over at the Venetian. So I think you could do it either way. Personally, I felt like the floor was big enough that you're going to get a good spot no matter what time you go. I think, especially if you don't have a VIP or a Vibe packet, however I don't know how to pronounce it. Vibe.
Vibe. I've heard both ways.
I've
Yeah.
heard both, but like if you don't, those folks do get in first. So I
Yep.
think even if you are to line up early with the GA, you might be able to get front row all the way off to the side. But my experience, I don't know about you, Lolly, but I felt being centered was good. Like I liked being
Oh, yes.
centered.
Yes. Yes. I feel like you did get the best of both. Like you didn't feel like you were so cornered in one angle that you could
Yeah.
get the most experience with the center. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So like for me, like as I was like trying to figure out where I wanted to stand on the floor, I chose like centered a little bit further back than I probably could have gotten front or second row all the way off to the side, but I'm happy with my choice. Again, I guess going back to tips for like GA, if you are waiting outside, you please like stay hydrated. I saw fans bringing umbrellas to protect themselves from the sun.
That was smart. Yeah.
And they were just ditching them outside the venue, which I thought was honestly smart. Like, but I did see girls like pass out and have medical, like people were getting overheated. So like, don't push yourself too much. You gotta like,
No, that's
it's not worth
not worth it. It's
it.
not worth it.
It's just not
And you're
worth
gonna miss
it.
the show anyway, so take care of yourself, girls.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like have fun with it. Oh, I think our other tip was we had a nice dinner on Saturday, and I think we played it a little too close to the show, and like there was traffic.
Yeah,
I don't think we factored in that like, oh, of course there's going to be traffic at a venue before concerts. Just
yeah.
make sure you build in enough time, like if you are doing a dinner and need to get to the venue, particularly by an Uber or whatnot, like there was traffic, so factor that in.
Yeah. No, I mean, for those who are booking, planning, whatever, I know it sounds early, but a 5 o'clock dinner is not unnormal. Like, it's not unconventional. In fact, that's even already cutting it a little close, just
Yeah.
because with the service, with everything, trying to get everything paid and then getting into an Uber. I don't, at this point, I don't even know if Ubers made sense because you guys literally hopped out of the car.
Yeah, we did. It was one
There
of
was
those things
just,
we're getting like we were watching the clock and it was like I'm watching people walk faster than the cars. I'm like
yeah.
so I made the executive decision to hop out of the Uber, but
Yeah, it's not. It was pretty nerve-wracking, but now that we know, for those who are watching, the show officially starts around 8:30, eight
eight,
forty. Yeah, so plan accordingly, but still aim for getting there earlier
yeah,
just because we don't know if that was just a first opening weekend kind of thing.
right.
Or, is it they're doing it on purpose to make sure people are in the venue? Like, who knows? But you don't want to miss it. It's too short already as it is. I will say, I think it was a little misleading. I don't know if you thought this. It was a little misleading that everyone's like, yeah, Venetian's the way to go because it's the closest to the venue. It is, but it's a 30-minute walk, even from the Venetian to the venue. So if you're not wearing the proper shoes or dressed comfortably, at least from the knees down, it's going to be very painful for, like, don't wear heels, girls. If you're going to wear heels, it's not worth it. Just,
I honestly saw a lot of sneakers. I was happy.
yes.
We're not in our teens and
Yeah.
20s, but we're getting older as a fan base. But
Yeah.
I agree. I think anywhere you're going, you're walking. So
You're walking.
be
Yeah.
prepared. I mean, it's better to walk in the air conditioning.
That is true. Yeah, no, you're right. That is the only venue that you could foreseeably walk
Yeah.
in the air conditioning, not have to deal with being outside. So, what else is there? Is there anything else that we have?
I don't know, how about like I feel like a lot of people have concern about purses, and that's more your story
Yes.
than mine.
Yeah, I don't think there was that big of a deal. Like it didn't seem I understand that maybe they were trying to prevent people from wearing big ass book bags or things like that, but I don't think they were as strict about the size for as long as it was comfortable because the seats for those who are seated, those are it's pretty tiny. Like you don't have much space to begin with. And even if you're in GA, it's like you don't want to be pushed by someone's Loungefly book bag from Disney. Like it's like get Mickey's ears out of my way. I want to see the boys.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have trouble. I hadn't heard of anybody who had trouble. I mean, I had a clear little bag, so they looked right in it, no issues. I think for like water, I believe they were letting people in if it was unsealed or
Or
empty.
empty.
One
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
two, but you couldn't have something in the middle.
You couldn't put yeah, you can put ice in there or anything like that, I don't
Yeah,
think, or
I don't
even
think so either.
any yeah. But did you hear about that whole meet and greet option that when you call or text during the
Yeah,
call? That was cool.
that was cool. I kind of realized it after the first show.
Yeah, I know.
I maybe was a little late to the game, but so I guess for those of you who haven't heard, right, they flash a number up during the call, and if you either call or text that number, you have a chance to win a meet and
A
greet.
meet and greet, and it's legit. We
Yeah,
see there, it's actually legit that people can win that.
yeah,
It's just tough because some people, some carriers have cell service, some don't. So if you're in the lucky few that has a cell service that could do it, definitely take advantage because those
yeah.
meet
Did
and
you
greets are
have
not
luck?
cheap.
I don't know
Huh?
did you have any luck with that? What was your like? Who's your carrier?
So mine's Verizon. So if anybody who had Verizon, definitely take advantage. I think we had some other girls in our group that had what was it?
I have AT&T and it did not work.
It didn't work. Yeah, yeah. No,
I
AT&T,
tried.
T-Mobile.
Yeah, I tried getting on the like they suggest getting on the Wi-Fi and then do the Wi-Fi calling. It took a little bit. I think it
Hmm.
went through. I don't know. I guess what was interesting about that is like what if you're going multiple shows, like the first time you do get a response back to say that yes, you have been entered, and then it
Hmm.
advises you to text BSB VIP or something the subsequents, but you don't get another message to confirm. So I was a little confused if it actually entered the second and, third times.
Yeah. But either way, I thought that was a really cool added feature and perk, that you can get.
Yeah.
What about those 360 cams of the meet and greet? What are your thoughts on those? Like that looks like it was really
It
fun.
looks cool. I'm half bummed that I wasn't able to get a meet
I
and greet.
know.
They sold out so quickly, but they were expensive. They were expensive, and so it look from what I have seen, it looks cool. So I'm bummed I didn't get to do it, but it seems like for the smaller group of people who were able to get it, it seems like it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, yeah, no, I thought the same thing. Like once those videos started popping up during our weekend while we were there, I was like, my goodness! Like they never said anything about that before, that that was going to be part of it.
Yes, the jealousy was kicking in at that point, but that's
Well, this was awesome, Laura. I thought we had a good time just chatting. I think I'm not over the sadness yet. I don't know about you.
yes, I'm definitely still in like Backstreet land. Would love and hope to go back. As you said, they're teasing for 2026. So we'll see. But for
Yeah.
now, I'm just reliving the pictures and memories. So this was so much fun. I know we could keep chatting.
Oh yeah. No, we could chat about this for like every
I
month
know.
that we wanted to. until.
pretty much. But
But yeah,
thank
no,
you.
this was awesome, Laura. Out of those, if you like this video, then definitely like, comment, subscribe, click on that notification bell. And if you really want more of this and you want to hear more of Laura and I and what we want to talk about, let us know. We gotta get back to work.
Yes, you. Thanks. Bye.